am Christy Anderson Horner, class of 1980, our 40th reunion, president of the Laurel School Alumni Association. Welcome to the very first virtual annual meeting of the Alumni Association, especially to those in our other time zones, and Sydney all the way from London. Thank you for being flexible today with your day. We will keep this Zoom meeting to 1 hour. That is Ann and my commitment to you. Being conscious of your day and also of that new phenomenon, Zoom fatigue. Ladies, it's real. And just as an FYI, we are recording today's meeting in order to share with alumni who are not in attendance with us today, because we think it's going to be kind of fun to share. We all know that this was not how today was supposed to unfold, and everybody has lost something, and let's just acknowledge that right now. And I'd like to thank the Alumni Weekend Committee, chaired by Amanda Royan, and all of the class reunion planners who spent months planning engaging activities and programs for this weekend. And my class, we're going to have a Google Hangout tonight, and I know my sister's class, whose reunion is also this weekend, they had theirs last night. So we're still gathering, we're just doing it virtually. I always try to look for the silver linings in this upside down world we are in, and seeing you this morning and looking into your eyes would definitely fall into that category. We hope that you and your loved ones are staying safe. Please know that all of us at Lyman Circle, which is really just Julie and Ann today, are thinking about you and all of our alumni. The rest of us on the alumni board are thinking about you from across the country. Today, we're going to use the chat feature, and we encourage participation. So don't forget, hover your mouse on the bottom. You'll see the pop-up bar. You'll see the chat graphic. Click on the chat, and you can open up that chat and make any comments you'd like. Let's all start by typing in the city or state from where you are Zooming. And then as that shows up in the thread, we're going to see that people are dialing in from all over the globe. There is one item of official business that we must conduct. We'll get that out of the way first so that we can get straight to hearing from Ann Klotz, and we will save time for your questions. First, I'd like to confirm that there is a quorum. Julie, please confirm what I think is true. We have a quorum.
We do have a quorum. We have a quorum.
Okay, great. I didn't
and we
you,
have more than one. We have more than one international person.
There we go. Isn't that boy? You know, I am just like a professional comedy here on Zoom. So there's one. Let's see. Great. So Kathy Paris Torgerson, class of 65, as the immediate past president of the Alumni Association, chaired this year's nominating committee. Kathy, would you please present the slate?
Thank you, Christy. It's great to be here and to see everybody. I see 3 of my own classmates, which is just amazing because this is our 55th reunion weekend, which is exciting. But thanks, Christy, and thank you to the nominating committee members, Susan Aparni-Alphins, class of 80, Janet Abbey, class of 83, Rose Babington, 04, and Donna Jeffries Cook, 89. The slate is as follows. For 3-year member-at-large terms, Signa Ralsted Forbes, class of 71, Katie Gerber-Dunan, class of 81, Jen Beeson Gregory, class of 88, Meredith Stewart Reimer, class of 95, Neethi Sundaresh, class of 95, Shanika Ranasingh Esparaz, class of 05, Chelsea Robbins, class of 2011, for a 3-year term as vice president, Amanda Royan, class of 2004. Do I have a motion to approve the slate?
Just do some jazz hands. Julie, do we have any jazz hands for a motion? I see.
Nina.
Nina.
And
Great.
a second to the motion. Megan, will you confirm how many limited proxies we received?
Yes, we received 61 limited proxies, all approving the slate.
Thank you. I'd like all alumni on this call who did not already submit a proxy to please vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? The motion carries. Congratulations to our new alumni board members, and thank you to those whose terms end with this meeting. Christy.
Kathy, thank you so, so much. I'd like to second those congratulations and give my heartfelt thanks to those rolling off the board: Anne Schaefer-Sharefs, class of 76, Tabitha Gillambardo, class of 2012, Nicole Brown, 2004, Tyler Thornton, class of 1999, and Vice President Donna Jeffrey Cooks, class of 89. So thank you all so much for your service. It's been such a pleasure working with all of you and getting to know you. Sydney, I am remiss, you share the title of longest Zoom call with Leslie McCormick, class of, oh my goodness, she 83. 84, right. She was in my sister's class, one class. And so Leslie, thank you also for dialing in from London. This is so exciting. So last summer, we sent a survey to all alumni soliciting feedback on our work in engaging and connecting alums with each other and with the school. Today, I wanted to touch on just a few points, especially as they relate to the work we have done this year as your alumni board, serving all alumni everywhere. Of those who responded, just over 68% live outside Northeast Ohio, which is in line with the fact that close to 2/3 of all alums live outside of Northeast Ohio. We heard from alumni who have been very engaged over the years, as well as from those who have not been as active. When we asked about what types of alumni initiatives you would like to see more of, the top 3 responses were lifelong learning opportunities, connecting individually with other alums in the same city, and professional mentorship and networking. When we dug a little deeper and asked what we could do better, responses included revamping reunions. This is a perfect example, ladies. Having more lectures and speakers, educational events, and having online alumni directory. You might be wondering, how did your feedback inform our work this year? Well, we launched an online alumni directory housed on Laurel's website just this month. It goes live the first week of June. Be sure to log into it by then. Make sure your information is up to date. Email alumnae, and that's ALUMNAE @laurelschool.org if you have any questions. We'll put that in the chat box too. We continue to promote Alumni Fire, our online alumni networking and mentorship community, and I encourage you to sign up. It's a great way to connect with other alums, especially young alums just starting out on their own. We had planned a financial literacy event, the first in our Know Your Worth series. While we had to cancel it in those very first weeks of sheltering in place, we know it will make the perfect topic for a future virtual event. And look how easy and fun this is. In fact, based on the success of our first ever virtual restaurant roll just last month, look for more virtual opportunities to learn from other alums and share experiences and insights. Virtual programming fits with the need to be nimble and flexible and gives alums all over the country and the globe the opportunity to build relationships with each other and interact with students. And we are working on a framework for an Alumni Ambassador Council comprising of alumni who live outside of Cleveland. Since many of you are on the call from outside of Cleveland, maybe if this would be an opportunity that you would like to be involved, again, please email us at alumni@laurelschool.org. As we had to pivot this spring and be super creative about keeping in touch through social media or the highly successful letter writing campaign, pairing up young alums with our most senior alums, or the new Always a Laurel Girl at home, in the alumni section of our website, we know that some of what we do now will become standard operating procedure. And some of what we had always done may be retired as we reframe our work on behalf of our alumni and our alma mater. So if you're still interested in being a pen pal with an older or a younger alumna, or if you have a top 5, 10 list to share with us and your fellow alums, please reach out to the Alumni office. You can follow up to that email that's going to be coming up in your email just after this meeting, or probably Monday. I'm sure many of you are wondering about the status for our 125th celebration. There are so many unknowns about the trajectory of the virus, including when it will be safe to host large gatherings, that leadership for the 125th has been meeting virtually and looking at various scenarios for the events that have already been planned. We will reimagine both Founders Weekend in the fall, which will likely be a more local-centric celebration with students and families, if possible. And we'll be looking at Alumni Weekend 2021, when we will celebrate all reunion classes and award recipients this year's and next year's, as well as when we host our Forever Green and White Gala. We will be sure to send more details about next year's celebration as we are able to firm them up. As I turn it over to our esteemed head of school, Ann Klotz, please use the chat box to type in any questions you have for Ann, or follow-up questions for me, Julie, or Megan, and we'll try to get to as many of them as possible at the end of her remarks. Ann, thank you so much for being with us today. Everyone is here to hear from you, so we're so glad. I'm sure they have a lot of questions. What's it like at Laurel? What's it like at Lyman Circle? What have you learned? So I'm sure you're going to address all of that, and we're going to leave lots of time for questions.
I'm going to do it all in a very short amount of time. So hello, everybody from beautiful Lyman House. I don't know in my 16 years of headship if I've ever spent quite so much time in this house that was built by alums in their love for Mrs. Lyman. So I feel like I'm surrounded by all of you every day. And sometimes in the midst of this pandemic, I have attempted to commune with the ghost of Sarah and Edna to see if they could help to guide me through this current, strange, unprecedented set of circumstances. Thank you, Christy, for having me. And I'm really excited to see so many of the alums from my era, which started in 2004, and also so many of our faculty and staff who are Laurel alums, who are working all week on Zoom and who care so much about their alma mater that they're giving up time on Saturday morning to be with all of us. I woke up this morning and realized sadly that I would not have to change my clothes all weekend as I typically do when we go from a whirlwind of one event to the next. So I am wearing green and white, purchased specially for you in Florida earlier this year. I think it feels like we've had 2 school years, the one before March and the one since March. So I thought I would tell you a little bit about both. The beginning of the year found me often on the road. I traveled, I think, more than I ever have to see alums and to share our dreams for the future, for a new middle school and for some more spacious STEM classrooms. School at home has definitely reinforced that the space doesn't matter in terms of the relationship between student and teacher. But space does matter when we all have the opportunity to return to school. And there are things about safety and what we know about learning that really suggest it's time to renovate and build some new facilities on our beautiful Lyman campus. Though we are steering through some rough waters, I know that Laurel's future is bright and that we will continue to pursue those dreams with our capital campaign approved by the board last June. Exciting events of the year included our basketball team's rocket-like trajectory. We won our district playoffs and we lost in our regional finals to a very rude school, but they lost next. And I'm actually sort of glad that we didn't get to states this year because states were canceled. And so I feel like we did a great rehearsal for next year. We have an extraordinary basketball team. We had, right before the pandemic, a wonderful production of Annie. And in the spirit of the community musicals that I know so many of you loved, Leanne DiLorenzo, our drama teacher, included middle and primary school girls with an amazing upper school cast. Our Senior Olivia Wenzel was named a semifinalist for the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program. That is a huge honor, and we were just thrilled to celebrate her. We had Avon in the first grade and Margot Loria, a senior, both end up as finalists in the Young Entrepreneur Institute's pitch contest. And our Latin accolades just rolled in this year, and I can't help but think that Miss Lake and Mrs. Lyman, I think both of whom were Latin scholars, would be proud. We had 3 perfect scores in the middle school and a number of extremely high scores in the upper school. Speech and debate continues to be one of Laurel School's most powerful programs. Half of our participants made it past the preliminary rounds, and we have sent girls on, well, they can't go to states this year because we won't have states, but nationals, I mean, but they've really been amazing. And then March closed in on us like the lion it is. When the governor announced school closures, we had already made the decision to begin spring break one day early to give our faculty 24 hours in the building to pivot to school at home. And I will say that probably no members of the faculty enjoyed any kind of a vacation, because even 2 weeks and 1 day is a very short time to move from being an in-person school to delivering an extraordinary distance learning curriculum. As I have told you in every communication that has gone out since the beginning of April, I could not be prouder or more appreciative of the Herculean, and may I even say Sisyphean, work of our faculty in transforming their teaching. Our faculty and our girls and our very tiny boys have been resilient in adapting and in many cases embracing distance learning. In fact, there are some girls for whom distance learning has been more successful than in-person learning. So that's one of the wins that we'll work to carry forward with us. I think what really has helped us over these last weeks has been our approach always in emphasizing both critical thinking and creative problem solving, and in building agency and resilience in all of our, in every member of our community. In the Power and Purpose curriculum in the 4th grade, the girls spend 6 weeks at the Butler campus, problem solving and applying their skills in real world situations. They built a dock this year that we'll put in one of the ponds, and that'll make pond study much easier. Our immersion weeks at our Butler campus in primary and middle school are extraordinary opportunities for applying skills and developing independence and resilience. And in our upper schools, capstone and protege programs, girls also have agency and voice and choice in determining the way they want to spend time and give back to the world, which of course is in fulfillment of our mission. So we're really proud of our girls' independence and initiative, and they continue to flourish and grow even during school at home. The girls in K-12 have a set school day. It's shorter than the one they would have at Lyman Circle, but they do meet synchronously, and that means at the same time with the teacher, most days with their teachers and their classmates. And we knew it was going to be critical to establish a predictable structure for every day. I've gotten to teach Shakespeare this week in the 7th grade at the end of Romeo and Juliet, and the girls said, we don't mind as long as we can be with our teacher. We don't love it when the teacher just sets us work and we have to do it on our own. But of course, that's an opportunity too for them to do some problem solving without the teacher right there. Our design challenges in the middle school have been out of this world, and of course have moved kids away from the screen, which is so important because everybody gets that Zoom fatigue that Christy referred to. We've had morning meetings and chapels and important community time. Yesterday, we had our flower exchange that's become a tradition under my headship, where the little girls in kindergarten gave a flower to every member of the senior class, and that bookends an all-school assembly we have at the beginning of the year when the seniors welcome the kindergarten with a flower. This year, of course, the flowers were drawn on paper so that the seniors can take them to college, we hope, and hang them on their bulletin boards. We hope not because they're not going to college. We just hope that college will open for them. We've had a few bumps along the way, but we're really pleased to have used the Google Suite because we have not had all the Zoom complications that you've read about in the media. We've asked for feedback from girls and faculty and parents along the way, and that feedback has been very positive, but we're also conscious of the fact that I think parents have been supportive because there was nothing anybody could do about a global pandemic. We're quite aware that the bar will be higher for our faculty in the fall. Every member of our middle and upper school faculty will attend a One Schoolhouse class. You may remember we're founding members of One Schoolhouse, which for about 10 years has been doing online classes. Every member of the upper and middle school faculty will take a course this summer in preparing hybrid learning environments. And that means we might be in school, we might be out of school, we might be some of each. We, of course, are at the pleasure of the governor in terms of what he decides will be the regulations for K through 12 schools. In the midst of all of it, our seniors had a remarkable run on college acceptance. We have a superb college list, $6.5 million in merit scholarships. 2 of 6 students from Northeastern Ohio admitted to Harvard happened to be Laurel girls. And as a former college advisor myself, I know that the most important thing for every girl is fit and finding a school that's just right for her. And that is why we encourage our girls to explore broadly, and from small liberal arts colleges to the Ivy League to state universities, both The Ohio State and often Michigan, and historically Black colleges and universities. This morning I was on a call with other heads from around the country, and one of them said, Anne, when you go to your alumni meeting, ask your alums, what did the school offer you that helped prepare you to navigate a virtual world? And what do you wish the school might do to help our current students continue to navigate a virtual world? So Julie doesn't even know I was going to ask that, but I'm going to type my email in the chat, and you could write to me with your ideas about what you have learned in your own foray into virtual living and what you think might be most helpful. And you may also message me on Facebook. Some of you know I am a wild social media user because I'm trying to spread the good news of Laurel School whenever I can. And I hope you will do that as well. If you share and reshare, it's good for Laurel. And your ideas will help us continue to offer the very finest education for girls. The pandemic, of course, more soberly, has wrought more than just an educational upheaval and a world health crisis. It has brought with it a cascading financial crisis, and the Board of Trustees made the commitment in March to protect the job of every Laurel benefit eligible employee through June 30th, and to establish a Laurel Cares emergency fund for families that suffer financial reversals. I am so grateful for that. And of course, like every school head across the country, we are working very hard to articulate our value in a world that feels extremely uncertain. For me, like Dr. Amy Acton, the health director of Ohio, I am not frightened, I am determined. And if I had a tiny Amy Acton action figure, I would put her on my desk because she has been extremely inspirational in her leadership and guidance in Ohio. But I don't want to leave you on a low. I want you to know that your school continues to thrive and to be creative and to meet the challenges of our time and to live our mission to inspire each girl to fulfill her promise and to better the world and our values, committed to building a just and inclusive world. Laurel girls are courageous, creative, ethical, and compassionate. And the mission and the values of our school continue to be shaped and reinforced by the stories of alums that I was so lucky to hear in person for much of the fall, and that I'm so proud to put up on social media and to share with all of you. So thank you, Christy, for allowing me to make some remarks.